Hey everyone, welcome to I Totally Love It. My name is Susan, and today is part one of July's Junk Journal Madness journal make. And just to recap what's going on this month, our guest collaborator is Teresa Conway Hayes. I have her linked below. And she gave me some theme ideas. I spun a wheel and it landed on vintage Victorian, and we need to include 5 items and make 12 items. And by that, there's a Google Doc. You'll need, it's actually 3 pages long, but you only really need page 2 and page 3. Page 1 is just a page full of ideas for journals, basically. All right, so we need to include 5 items. That's not a really big number, and I'm sure if you look at this list, you're probably going to use a lot of it, a lot more than 5 things. If you downloaded it in the past, I have kind of updated it and kind of organized things a little bit better. So you might want to go back and re-download this again. And like I put all the types of paper together. I have like all the fabric-y ribbon things together. And if you see anything missing from here, let me know, because last month I ended up having to put another column in here. Not last month, but a couple months ago we did recipe, vintage recipe. Or no, it wasn't vintage, it was just recipe. I didn't have recipe page on here. And I had recipe card, but I didn't have recipe page. So, as you see things as you're working and you're like, hey, that's not on here, I used it, let me know. Just put in the comments below, say, hey, I used this in my journal. Can you add that to the list? And, pencil it on your list. There's plenty of empty spaces here. And then we'll have every month, at the beginning of the month, I'll just have it updated for the next round. So we need at least 5 from here. And, just making my journal, just the bones of it, I have used scrapbook paper. I have used vellum. I've used, what else? Oh, sheet music. A book page. So that's already 4. And I'm pretty sure there is, oh, and dyed paper. So that's 5 items. And that's just making the actual journal itself. All right. So we're going to use a whole lot more. Oh, and eyelets. I used eyelets. Okay. And I'll show you what I've done here, my progress so far. And page 3, these are items to make. And once again, if you are making something and it's not on here, let me know. We'll add it, pencil it in. You got some empty spots in here because I reorganized this better. And, you can always write at the bottom if you're not sure where you want to put it, or you're afraid you might forget to tell me. Just let me know. And if you're not sure what some of these are, let me know. But yeah, let's keep this going and keep this updated, because even if there's a month where you're not participating in Junk Journal Madness, this is a good document to have just for ideas. I know a lot of people make idea journals, and I would love to do that one day. But I had to get things out of my head and onto paper, and so these are all kind of like brain dumps for me. But once again, if it's missing, let me know. We'll add it to the list. Okay, so where am I at so far? Now, I know you've been following along with the saga of Hurricane Beryl. I will say, here in Deep East Texas, I live in the oldest town of Texas, and we had power outages, and which meant, we have a lot of trees here, so we have a lot of vegetation caused a lot of our power outages. We did not really have the downed poles like they did down in the Houston area, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours south of where we are. We had tornado warnings all around us, and it actually was not supposed to go over us, but it went directly over us. So, we're always kind of prepared for these things, but there's always room for improvement. I'll just say that. And so we have some things in mind to do better for next time. But we went 33 hours without power. Um, I will say it was, getting warm there, but we could go sit in the car. I would rather have it go out because of a hurricane than snowmageddon. For those of you who remember that in 2021, oh, that was the worst because we were 24 hours below freezing. Um, we couldn't go anywhere because it was ice and snow everywhere, and both of our cars had a flat tire. So we were able to manage, to pull the car out into the driveway, sit in the car, warm up, charge our phones for a little bit. So that was miserable. I'd rather have power outage due to a hurricane than snow again. All right. Well, and then internet. So power came on, so I was able to do some crafting. I just didn't show a lot of what I was doing because I didn't have a way of recording it so much. But here's what I've done so far. So it's vintage Victorian, and all right. So my cover is scrapbook paper. It's two-sided. You'll see the inside in just a minute. I just put out today's Saturday, today's Friday, July 12th. You'll see this video on Saturday, on July 13th. But I just put out a haul video, and in that haul video, I showed some doilies. I went looking at the place where I picked this up, hoping to find more like this one, because this one had a few spots on it. But I couldn't find anything like this. I really wanted this pattern, very floral looking. And so I just went ahead and put that one that I had on originally, but I went ahead and picked up some more. If you saw that video, I've just glued this down with some tacky glue, Aleene's tacky glue, clear tacky glue. I did use a little bit of Barely Art in some, places that were still a little loose, but I just glued that on there. And I did think about the closure before I did all that, and I'm gonna do something a little different. I've put eyelets here on the front cover and on the back cover. They are about an inch and a half down from the top and bottom, and about a half inch in. And so I have it on the back. So I'm gonna probably have ribbon, 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 and then just you'll have two ties. All right, so let's go into the inside. So I have my signature sewn in, 3-hole pamphlet stitch going on here. That's really not a hard stitch to do. I've got some videos showing you, but there's a lot of videos out there. So just look up junk journal binding, look up 3-hole pamphlet stitch. There's a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, which I've not done. Yeah, get out there, try different things. All right, and so let's look on the inside. All right, so this is the inside, and maybe at the end I'll show you the paper pads these came out of. But this is, obviously thicker cardstock, and then I've got scrapbook paper in here. I did not use any digitals in the making of this journal. Now I might use some on the items I put in here, but as far as the pages, I don't believe I have any digitals. This is all scrapbook paper. I remember this pad. This was from Hobby Lobby. It's like somebody Tisdale or something. It's very vintage looking cover. I really like it. Anyway, so that paper. So they were all 12 by 12s. I've cut them down to I believe it's like 8.5 inches tall. And so I saved all the little cutoffs. Even my cover, the cover is 9 inches tall. And is that right? Yeah, 9 inches tall. Okay, I put a piece of vellum in here. This is just from Hobby Lobby. If you've seen any of my hauls in the past, and this is in the clearance section, sometimes they've got scrapbook paper packs, and every once in a while, if you're lucky, you'll find a vellum pack. Because I take that back. My husband bought me a pack of plain vellum so I could print on it, but I've never bought like this kind of vellum. I have this little pack that I bought at Daiso. So other than that, I haven't purchase these. These all came in that packs for very cheap. And you get a variety. So you're not, you may get like several of the same thing, but you get other designs as well. This is some tea-dyed paper from Huckleberry Sky on Etsy. Scrapbook paper. Sheet music that I just got from my haul. So if you go look at that video, if you haven't already. Scrapbook paper. This was like these other ones were from a pad of scrapbook paper. This was actually a single sheet, once again from clearance at Hobby Lobby. So on the back it has that little branding stamp, where it's got the price and on that and all that. And I want to do something a little different than just trimming and having the extra piece here. I thought, well, let's fold it and make a pocket so I don't have all these white back sides to deal with. So I did that, and a lot of my pages are folded this direction where you see the printed side and the white is on the back. So I reversed that so you've got the printed on the other side, but you still see the print with that pocket. So my suggestion with that is to get your scoreboard. It's a 12 by 12 paper. You're going to score down at 6 inches down the middle. Turn it where the top is over here, and however deep you want your pocket, or however tall, I guess, you want your journal. So if you're at 0, you're going to go to, I had 8.5 inches. So at 8.5, I scored. And so then I fold up the pocket and I, burnished with the bone folder. And I would suggest before you glue down your pockets that you trim it. And there's a little, here, I'll use this as an idea. When it's trimmed or together like that, and let's say this is part I want to fold up, you've got your crease here. I just cut a little tiny sliver up to that point where you're going to fold, because number one, it takes down on the bulk and when you're doing your stitching, and it also just folds better. And I didn't mention I did ink everything with a vintage photo distress oxide. All right, so that's some pretty looks like wallpaper, but there's also like music in the background. This is from an old magazine. It actually had it was taller, and I kept the top part because it had train on it. So keeping up, there's going to be train something in the future. So that's saved for all that to come. This is avocado dyed paper, and I like it because it's crinkly. I guess you could iron it, but it's probably just been weighted down. But I like that sound. All right, this is paper from. This was a pad from Joann's, and it's a really thick pad, and it's like is it vintage something? But I'll show you. It's a really thick one, and I really really love it. It's got a lot of cool things in there, like alphabet and ledgers and stuff. All right, another piece of paper. Once again, this is one I folded. This was out of a paper pad, so it's a little thinner maybe. Paper pad. Paper doily, isn't that gorgeous? I love that. I got that in an Etsy haul a long time ago, and I thought that would look great against the background of this piece of scrapbook paper. Dyed paper. I forgot her name. If I can remember, to do it. I'll link her below. It does take, like when you order, it takes time though, because it's like fresh. It's fresh paper. So it takes like a month to get it. This is actually the center of my signature. I got this in an Etsy haul long ago. And actually, before I put it in, you guys, I laid it out. I took pictures of measurements because I thought, well, I might want to make something like this. But I sewed it in here. I've always wanted to do that with an envelope. And I almost put an envelope in here in the signature because I do that a lot. I thought, let's do something different, Susan. But it's already got this pocket in there. It's got the little half circle for you to close that. But look at all that journaling space. We could decorate it. We could put more pockets. And of course, I like, I put that paper in there because it went well with the colors there. So, all right, let's close that. All right, so we're on the back half now. And I have, ideas for these pages that are blank on the back. I'll give you a tip, and I got this from Creating with Jovi. If you cut your paper to 8.5 by 11, you can stick it in your printer. You've got to know which way to put it. You got to know how your printer works. And print a digital on the back. I've done that many times after I learned that from her. I was like, duh, I didn't realize I could do that. So, yeah, I mean, I can print on cardstock, so you could even print on thicker paper as well. I mean, follow your printer guidelines. But yeah, so that's an idea. But I have ideas for this, and I was gonna go with a digital. Hurricane Beryl came in and kind of messed up my plans, and I just went with something else. I thought, well, just won't put a digital paper in here. All right, so we're gonna go on the back side. Some of these pages are a little different on the back side here. That one's got butterflies. That's And that one's got the flowers. This side had like a little collage there. So that was really neat. And I like that little doily in the background there. But doing my closure here like that, I was going to put a lace pocket in here. So I may have to rethink that. I may need to think of a different shape pocket. I don't know. It may not do a pocket. I don't know. Because that impedes. But I wanted to originally put it there, but I didn't want it to impede on this doily. A lot of times my journal cover dictates what my closure is, and I thought, okay, let's have them work together, Susan. All right, so that's what I've used so far. And see, I don't have on my list of items to include. I don't really have. I mean, I guess you could call the crochet doily yarn and fibers, maybe. But couldn't we add that like crocheted knitted piece? I don't know. What do y'all think? What would you call it? Because we got paper doily, handmade doily. If you did a die cut doily, that would be a die cut wherever I stuck die cut. Right here, die cuts. But yeah, so I really wanted to give a vintage feel. There was some paper I wanted to use, but it had like 1920s on it. I was like, okay, that's not Victorian, it's vintage, but not Victorian. So I'm really, obviously scrapbook paper is new, but give it a vintage Victorian vibe. And I like the doily on the front, you guys. That makes my heart sing. I'm not bothered by the paper sticking out past because I'm gonna put some paper edges up here. They're gonna all be hanging out. Some tabs, they're all gonna be hanging out. So that doesn't bother me. I almost rounded the corners, and I'm glad I didn't because some of these are as tall as the journal itself. So that's a thought, though. You could get the little, corner pieces. I haven't thought about that. I don't know. I really wanted to use some of the antique, like brushed bronze eyelets, but I only had 2 left. I've ordered some more, but I had plenty of these black ones, and they're fine. I'm happy with that. All right. Also, go check out not only Teresa, but check out Trish at Crafting Whimsy. She always participates. And Amber from Night Owl Collage, our guest collaborator from last month, she actually has a digital kit. So I'll link her channel below and go check her out. Maybe you're interested in her kit. It's if you like purples, it's a good one. And yeah. That's a good one for those of you who love that whole vintage vibe. I hope you participate. Let us know down in the comments, and go show those ladies some love. And I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys, take it easy. Bye bye.